What's going on, guys? About a week ago, we had an S2000 show up for a dyno appointment. After looking at it, we were like, this thing isn't quite ready. So he dropped it off and we started scanning it. I'm gonna bring you through the whole process, scanning everything we find, and then we're gonna go through and fix it, get it on the dyno, and make this guy's dream come true. But first, we need to see what all the problems are. All right, we made it over to Cotterpin's. And as some of you know, Cotterpin used to work over at PFI, and then he became a Mac guy, and then recently, with everything going on, you've been kind of furloughed, right? Furloughed. Whatever you want to call it. So, we're super busy at the shop, and we're kind of overwhelmed, and having new work come up, we aren't quite ready. So we farmed this job over to Jeff. We're gonna share it with y'all, and show you guys kind of the state it's in. And then as we go, we'll kind of show you how to fix it all and how to get it ready to actually tune and put it on the dyno. So
this car did show up ready for a tune. Is what we're scheduled for. So this was our initial list from looking at it sitting on the wheels at the shop on the dyno, going, this is what we have to fix before we can do anything.
And that included things like this hardware, the boost control not hooked up. All this stuff kind of moves around, and just missing a lot of stuff, you know. So that was our initial list. Even the oil pressure's missing stuff. Some of this little deal here.
So that flange is JB welded.
This is
a stainless flange,
all JB welded.
Aluminum aluminum throttle.
Never seen that before.
I would almost want to leave it just to test it. I want to see what JB.
I'd rather just get it done. But even some of these fuel lines are kinked, and the tape still and frays coming out of things.
This one's all the way through.
Oh, right, and it hasn't even ran yet. How do you get?
It's sitting under there, so it literally just corroded.
But from sitting.
Yeah.
It literally is. He did unload it, and it ran kind of to drive up, but it didn't roll so well.
It doesn't roll at all.
And we'll get to that.
We'll get to the underside in a little bit.
But we've got some broken wires, air temp sensor. We have a lot of miscellaneous little stuff in here.
Yeah, what's that? Stuff
missing in the valve cover. I think that's the oil pressure one. But that end, remember, like I showed you, it's missing the whole. This thing just like spins around. So super not cool at the top end. And then there was the stuff in the trunk. And I don't, you know, some of this I don't know where to begin. We got a whole relay board right here, but it still has 2 or 3 relays back in there too. So I'm not sure, you know, we have relays on top of relays or
wires
or what.
Taped together.
You know, my initial thing when I looked in this bay, I was like, the nitrous brackets are on there wrong way.
Jamie said that was your biggest thing.
I was like, what the heck, dude?
And then
it's 2 seconds.
Don't forget the tongue and groove flooring in here.
This was not done by the owner of the car. He had actually paid somebody to build this for him. So it showed up. He thought it would be ready to dyno, and as you guys are seeing, this is not even close. So this is just, you know, example of some of the stuff we run into sometimes, and kind of the lengths you'll have to go to try to get somebody's dream going again. This one wire is powering this whole switch box that controls all the relays, I hope or assume. We're just still not sure. But I think we're ready to kind of go up and then show some of that.
So this was all we saw before we decided we can't dyno it right now.
Yeah, we saw
step back and assess it.
That's where we stopped, and we were like, hey, you can leave it. Let's scan it.
So then we brought it over here.
Yep.
And I gave Jeff the list, and he texted me back about 2 hours later. He said, I need 5 more sheets of paper. And this is where things get rough.
Don't forget the lug nut.
Yeah, this is my favorite part. The cross-threaded lug nut that's stuck there, and the axle nut. And
yeah, so the whole wheel kind of moves right now.
well, and if you look, so this one, this bolt is like touching the wheel, but this side it's not.
So right in here, it does touch the wheel, it put a little scraper around the inside of the wheel.
This one, it doesn't touch it though. So what's geometry wrong here? You know what I mean? That one's a little farther away. We are missing, so like this here is not tight, holding the subframe up. There's
Missing on this side.
yeah.
That one's missing.
This one's totally gone. And then
Brake line zip tied to the control arms. The fuel pump is super tight.
this bolt's not even it.
It's
Like
not
it's,
even tight.
it's too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even hitting the threads. This is our fuel pump.
The drive shaft. I won't even turn. There's a bolt missing in the top. This one's loose. Those two are tight.
The fuel lines, there's 2 holes drilled in the floor with a zip tie. This is Jeff's favorite
This
part.
is this. I don't know if we could do a series on mechanical fails, but this is like, this is a little scary, you know, because this guy thought his car was gonna be on the dyno, and if he'd have drove this thing,
So this already lost a bolt when it was sitting on the
well,
lift
the
last
whole
night.
bracket is crooked. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone watching this can see you can't. The whole thing is wrong. All right, let's
Look at this,
start
right?
there.
So it's just 2 holes drilled in the floor. And then this is another good one. So if you look here,
Wire connector.
that is a wire connector that is got a safety pin.
Oh. Again, this was not done by the client. This was done by a shop
All this, so the
of some kind.
brake proportioning valve is zip tied to the fuel lines that are zip tied through the floor, and it's not really hanging on to much.
Well, and then Jeff was talking about why the transmission wouldn't
this
bolt up.
earlier.
Oh my goodness. So you can see this adapter plate.
Okay.
We gotta get some of the stuff out the way here.
You can
There
look
are
over
some
here.
washers.
Over here, Brent. You can see it over here pretty good.
What is going on here? So if you look up, there's a gap between the motor plate and the engine itself. Right here. So that is, I mean, it's consistently that gap all the way around because they've got washers holding it, that
bolts
gap.
holding the.
So what I bet happened, I'm just gonna throw this out there, is they put the converter on and put it on and the pump probably didn't
Yeah, but
turn
look
or
how far
something.
The converter is pulled out of the pump.
Yeah.
So we probably got way too much spacing there anyway.
Yeah. And then the bell housing doesn't have. There's no bolt on this side to the bell housing to the adapter plate. There's 2 bolts on this side. Who knows if they're tight?
Oh, maybe they spaced it out because of the starter.
Well, the starter's on the block.
Right, but it had these S2000 has a big stub. You're shining your light up into there. See how that it has that stub?
Oh, that's what we grinded off the end of yours.
Yeah. On mine, I would
Yeah,
get
but
rid of
that's
that.
still the gap in between here
Yeah, it
isn't
should
even
still
that
be
much.
enough. Yeah, it's interesting.
And then you've got,
Well, let's get into the engine mounts.
yeah, so
There's a bolt in here.
So
not
normally
quite
there's
long
2
enough.
bolts that come down through here. This one is right there, and then this one is hanging out.
you've got a thermostat housing bolt up there.
The starter
Yeah,
bolt is hanging
there's
out.
that housing bolt. Whatever this,
That's a
this is a
brake
brake line, but it's hanging below the pan.
This is the wrong thread nut for, like, that's a
Yeah,
really
you can
coarse
see the
thread.
thread pitch there versus the thread pitch there.
You know, the transcooler lines are on the downpipe right here. Like they're literally sitting on
Yeah,
it.
man. So
This brake
And then
line,
the transcooler lines are zip tied to the sway bar.
yeah. This brake line looks like it was just kind of melted.
I
by-
don't know what that is.
The upper control arm bolts. One's not even threaded in.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other one's loose.
Yeah, this one I can just spin with my hand.
I'm watching you do it.
Yeah. Look right here.
Besides all the whole car wiring harness stuffed in the fender here.
Oh man. Unlike this brake line, if you look at it, like if you turn all the way, if you could get it to turn all the way, it's just gonna hit that into the control arm.
So what's our plan, Pin?
take it completely apart and start over and put it all back together the correct way.
A lot of tapping and dying, I'm gonna
Tapping
guess.
and dying and bolts and nuts and
Measuring.
And then combing through the electrical and
the electrical.
then the exhaust system looks really nice, but we've found out that he had just bought a kit from somebody
It
that
was on
pre
a local car that worked.
yeah.
Everything on the turbo kit should work great.
It's got a lot of nice parts, it just needs fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed correctly. And put back together correctly.
I don't like this return line either. Look how it
It
goes
goes
back uphill really high.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we could probably route that straight up through here, right
Go
to the
behind
turbo,
that.
get rid of a foot and a half of, get rid of a foot and a half of hose there.
Turbo manifold bolts aren't even tight.
Yeah, so this is the problem we're running into. Every time we look at it, every time we say something,
We find
we
more.
run into something else. So that's where you could spend weeks trying to start at this end and move back and then start from the top down, and you're still gonna miss something.
You just gut it.
Or you just gut it and start over.
And that's the case I think this is. It's just a gut.
That's what this needs.
Yeah.
For sure. Then the suspension is, the springs are too soft or too short.
Yeah, because it's on the ground. You
Sits
can.
right on the tires on the fender.
Yeah. You can't even roll it.
Yeah, it takes 5 people to push it. It wouldn't even roll off the top. I mean,
But we're gonna save it.
these are brand new tires that have been rubbing, like it knocked the bumper off because it sits so far up in there.
Yeah, I mean it's got, like you said, all the good stuff. We got Ford 88. We got the Porsche style CVs. We've got everything to make some serious jam. Good motor, big turbo.
It's all inline pro engine.
Yeah, Inline Pro did the engine. Got some good stuff. AEM Infinity. Magna Fuel 750 pump. Whew, we got our work cut out for us.
And this guy just wants his car to be the way he
Envisioned it,
envisioned it, and he wants to be able to enjoy it and go fast.
yeah. And he didn't know it wasn't ready to dyno.
No, he didn't. He picked it up. He scheduled it with us.
I was excited about making a video of S2000 on the dyno.
Especially when we had the parts list of what all was in it, you know?
Yeah.
Inline Pro engine, 8.8, power glide.
I just keep scanning it because it's like, whoa. Well, these things happen. At least we got good guys on it and can run through it.
Yep.
A lot of you guys have seen Cotterpin's Mustang in one of our videos. It was the rustic wrapped, LS powered at the time.
Still is
Big, still is LS powered. Big Mustang that made over 1,000 some horsepower. And now you guys are running like 770s in this thing. Coasting. Jen's got her channel, Creaky Customs. It's ripping. You have to check that out as well. We'll be giving you guys updates as we go through this thing, find the issues, get the hardware, and make it right.
It's inside somewhere.
What'd you find?
No, we're just chasing ground wires.
Oh, made it harder than it had to be.
It's almost fun. It's gonna be fun taking this apart.
Right.
Just seeing all the stuff that's wrong.
There's a lot.
Horribly.
This is gonna be like one of.
Breaks.
This is like one of those episodes where you like they go to the guy's house that some contractor just didn't do it all. You know? What? Jen's like, my house. Yeah. That's for another YouTube channel. We could send them.
The shop's done.
The shop's, yeah.
It's standing.
Still a couple things he's got to finish.
Yeah, he's gone through a whole deal with the contractor and just getting his whole home done. But the shop's done, so here we are. We're able to do something. So yeah, we're doing our own garage rehab over here at Pfispeed. And gonna get this little hot rod S2000 A-okay.
Get it safe.
Get it safe, get it right.
That's the.
And then we'll look forward to
scariest
tuning
part.
it, you know?
That's the scariest part for me is he picked this up from a shop and thought it was ready to tune and then drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He brought it for a tune so he could get a tune so he could drive it.
Even when he came to the shop, he unloaded it from the trailer and he drove it to the bay.
I wouldn't drive this across the parking
No,
lot.
I'd be worried about screwing the pump up in the converter or the transmission.
That's the hardest part for me is this is somebody's safety.
Yeah, that plate should be flush against the engine. Like,
Well, that's like putting washers behind a wheel. It just doesn't work like that.
well, it's interesting.
It is interesting.
Definitely look forward to saving it.
Yeah, I think Jeff's gonna have some fun.
Yeah. We'll bring you the updates and we'll show you the progress as Jeff goes. So that'll do it for this episode. Appreciate you guys watching. Give us a like, subscribe, and stay tuned.